Players, you may begin.
Okay, good luck.
The Saito slap, we call it. You see a full force. You even get to hear it this time. From Tamahao Saito from Japan. And he's facing off against Reid Duke, number 2 in the world right now, playing Grixis Control. Saito is on Teamer Delver. We are doing a bit of an experiment this week. If you're just joining us, we're going to be following Reid Duke throughout the course of the tournament as he works his way up the ladder. Ideally, from his perspective, with a strong enough finish to overcome Seth Manfield for the Player of the Year race. Seth has 79 pro points. Reid has 78. Looks like an aggressive start. Thwarted a bit there by Reid as he took away Bomat Courier. He's going to follow things up with a Ponder after Saito plays Scalding Torrent.
Go.
Upkeep.
19.
Saito's going to crack a Scalding Torrent on his upkeep. See Saito using those Haruya sleeves. That's his shop. He owns it.
Draw top. That's not.
Let go from Saito.
Upkeep.
Sure.
17.
Without.
One of the key cards in the matchup from Reid's perspective is Baleful Strix. Not a bad one here either. Him to Turok for Duke. Also note that Reid has consistently played a land before casting his spells, making sure that he protects against the possibility of daze.
18.
Looks like Saito's going to cast Force of Will.
Go.
Preferring to choose the cards that go away rather than having them get randomly taken away by him and Turok. Reid also said that his biggest concern against this Teamer Delver deck is his mana. He is 3 colors, being Grixis, and Saito has the ability to disrupt his mana using a few different key tools: Wasteland,
Draw.
Slifer. Usual suspects there.
Seventeen.
17.
Including Mandrills now for Saito.
Okay, resolves.
His first meaningful play of the game. And you can see in Reid's hand, he already has the Diabolic Edict at the ready.
Diabolic Edict you.
Reid's going to cast the Edict right now on his turn and then pass the turn back to Saito. So he's been able to keep the board clear. That has to benefit the control player, generally speaking, at least.
3 cards. Right.
Yes. Okay.
So 3.
Played strong from Saito as Duke looks on. Reid off to a great start. 3 buys and then 2 wins in his first 2 rounds.
Fetch.
16. Okay.
Here's our first wasteland of the game. And now ponder for Saito. We're going to see Wasteland hit one of the underground seas here. He has another one in his hand now.
Fast turn. Okay.
Saito still without an actual threat here. He's only actually been able to stick 1 so far, Hootie Manuals, but it didn't even live 1 turn to attack.
Still.
Well, Saito's going to play Misty Rainforest and pass.
Go.
Upkeep.
Land go
15.
from Reid Duke. Upkeep. Saito's going to fetch. He didn't want those 2 cards up top of his library. Reid is currently 1 point behind Seth Manfield in the Player of the Year race. With the way that his GP finishes line up, he's going to need an X-3 record, so 12-3 by the end of the day tomorrow, if he's going to tie Seth, and an X-2 record, which is also the top 8, by the way, to jump ahead of him. Of course, both scenarios assume that Seth doesn't pick up any points himself, and he is playing in the tournament today.
Go.
Saito just keeps playing lands.
Go.
This is a deck that doesn't need very many lands to operate, and somehow he finds himself with 5 on the battlefield. Really needs to find a threat of some sort. He just can't seem to do it.
End of turn.
And once again, Saito cannot seem to keep a threat on the battlefield as the Delver of Secrets falls to a lightning bolt. Reid has a stacked hand now. Snapcaster Mage. Maybe he's just going to to go for a hand here. Perhaps a ponder. Does have a Thoughtseize from way back in turn 1 as well.
He's out.
Just going to
Him
go
you.
for the raw card advantage, him to Turok.
How many cards?
4.
Spell Pierce the Him is going to force the
16.
action. Reid's not going to hesitate at all to crack that fetch lane.
Hey.
Days.
Okay, you pick up Tropical Island.
Yeah.
Counter.
Sure.
Go.
Pay.
2 45 stand left-hand top players. Pairings for round 2 are on the way. Again, 2 45 stand left-hand top players. Pairings for round 2 are on the way.
And there's Lightning Bolt to help keep the ground clear.
That trigger.
Saito does have this
Sorry,
Bowman
Reid.
Courier.
2 cards?
Yeah.
Sure.
That
Cast
trigger.
it,
15.
attack, triggers. Maybe he can get something going with this, though. Duke with that extra copy of Lightning Bolt. He also has Kolagon's command, which can kill the Bowman Courier.
Pass.
Upkeep.
Yeah.
Draw.
Draw step.
Draw set.
He's going to let Saito draw his card for the turn, and then it bolt the Bowman Courier.
Pass them.
And that's going to resolve, and no play from Saito this turn.
Pass
You
turn.
have to be feeling good if you're Reid at this point. He's been able to keep his life total high, and Saito has no threats to speak
Pass.
of.
Pass.
Player in the 330 two-headed giant field.
Pass.
Board meetings for bills are now posted at the black
Pass.
gathering points.
Draw.
Okay.
Ponder's going to resolve for Saito.
Draw.
Okay. 14. Okay.
Once again, Saito's going to keep digging. Ponder into Brainstorm.
This is a judge announcement. All three judges please report to the green stage. Once again, all three judges please report to the green stage.
He's still.
And there's another Hooting Mandrills now for
Exact.
Saito.
He's 5.
Looks like he's going to draw a Force of Will here from Duke.
Shot. Pass them.
Pass turn.
Upkeep.
Once
13.
again, Reid has been able to keep this board completely clear. He's taken some damage from his own spells and lands, but he hasn't taken a hit from anything from Saito yet outside of a single Bowman Courier hit. That's it. Reid has a few different ways to actually close out the game. He's got Jace the Mind Sculptor. Ooh, true name Nemesis now from Saito. This is one that Reid's really going to want to fight over.
Below 14. I still hurt.
And he has a Stifle as well for this fetch land. Reid cracking his fetch in order to get the mana to pay for a Spell Pierce. Staring at a land in his hand.
Okay.
He's kept that in his hand. Does he have another way to fight?
Target. You.
Okay.
Go.
He does not. He's going to need to find a Snapcaster Mage for that Diabolic Edict. He actually has access to it. He's going to kick things off with him, but he has Kolaghan's Command in his hand.
11.
Result.
And that will allow him to buy back a Snapcaster Mage, though he may have to do it over the course of the next 2 turns to actually get the Diabolic Edict.
Pass.
Upkeep.
Draw. So go ahead. Draw step.
Yep.
can
You
see that
discard.
Reid's
I
gonna
return
use
Snapcaster Mage.
Kolaghan's Command to take that out. Looks like it was a Bowman Courier.
On my top. Start.
8.
That's not.
And this guarantees now that Reid gets to resolve Snapcaster Mage and the Diabolic Edict in his graveyard.
So 1, 2, 3.
Ooh. There was some spice there. You see that land that he kept in his hand now coming in handy, but I guess he keep Force of Will up here too.
Edict you.
Yep.
Go.
Draw. Go.
2.
11. Shot.
Wow, a lot of action now for Duke. He finds a Gurmag Angler.
Delve
and
6
another
cards.
Kolaghan's Command on top of it. Or on the bottom of it, I should say.
Go.
It's now on top of his library.
And
Reid
step
has
faithful.
certainly put himself in a position to win this game now. Reid has to decide if he wants to fight over Dismember.
Yep.
He says, well, there's bigger fish to fry.
Draw
I can
step.
get that thing back.
You discard. I return.
And he's going to get it back right now. And in fact, that's going to be game number 1. Going to Reid Duke. He never really let Saito stick a threat for more than a turn and was able to use all of his main deck tools to get the job done here in game number 1. We are in round 6 here in Richmond, and if you're just joining us, we're trying something a little different this time. It's just me, just little old me in the booth, and of course you at home in the chat hanging out together, and we're watching Reid Duke play. We're kind of giving you the experience of standing or sitting next to him and railbirding one of his games. Let's take a look at the sideboard here for Reid Duke. He has his own thoughts on it, actually.
Here's Reid's sideboard: 3 Surgical Extraction, 2 Pyroblast, 2 Flusterstorm, then singles of Marsh Casualties, Toxic Deluge, Liliana the Last Hope, Ensnaring Bridge, Blue Elemental Blast, Hydra Blast, Red Elemental Blast, and Pithing Needle. Reid, Rug Delver, Teamer Delver, whatever you want to call it, that's the matchup. What are you doing?
Well, what I'm really worried about in this matchup is getting beaten quickly and or getting my mana disrupted. So the name of the game for me is sleek and efficient. I want to keep pace on the early turns, and I want to have as many spells that cost 1 mana as possible so that I'm not too clunky and exploitable. So that's why you see the 1-for-1 cards like Red Elemental Blast and Flusterstorm coming in, and the more expensive cards like Jace and Liliana getting trimmed.
You mentioned Jace. We've made 15 of these archetype sideboard videos, and I think Jace has come out maybe twice, maybe 3 times. Is Jace just one of the best cards in your deck all the time?
Yeah, I mean, Jace is just the gold standard for me. It's the card that effectively wins you the games. Sure, you might actually deal the 20th damage with a Snapcaster Mage, or sure, you might really win the game by getting ahead in resources early, but Jace is usually the nail in the coffin card when I'm untapping with Jace. That's how I know I'm winning. And against Teamer Delver after sideboarding, this is about as hostile as it's going to be for Jace. Wasteland, Daze, Spell Pierce, Lightning Bolt, Red Elemental Blast. And even under those circumstances, I'm not taking them all out of my deck.
All right, so we got a chance to hear from Reid there. Maybe we could take a look at his sideboard here, just from the big picture perspective. These players are just about getting ready to get underway here in game number 2.
Sorry. I choose very fast.
There's the entirety of Reid's board. You heard Saito say, I'm going to play first. Looked pretty easy in game 1. But of course he's going to have to consider what Saito might be bringing in. Keep you updated, by the way, coming into this round, so we don't know the players are still playing at the moment, but coming into this round, Luis Salvato was 4-1, but as I mentioned earlier in the day, he's sitting on 77 pro points with Seth Manfield on 79 and Reid cleanly in between at 78. But Luis Salvato's in a pretty good position because he's actually has his worst GP finish right now is a 1-pointer. Meaning that he can actually gain a lot of ground on these players, tie up or even jump past them with a really strong finish here. He does have a loss already, so he's going to have to stay on top of it. Seth Manfield coming in. Boy, rough day for Seth. He's 3-2 coming into the round, and with 3 buys, that means he has yet to win a match. Now, he is in the lead for Player of the Year, so he's the one that has nothing to lose himself, but boy, with only a 1-point lead over Reid and a 2-point lead over Salvato, he's got to be a little nervous, having lost his first 2 rounds. All right, perfect start here for Saito. He's got Delver of Secrets on turn 1 and already is asking pertinent questions to Duke about what kind of answers he may have in his hand.
19. Yep. Destroy blue permanent.
See if Saito has any answer. No, he does not. So Red Elemental Blast is going to take care of that threat, and Reid's going to stay at a healthy 19 life. In order for Reid, by the way, with his current lineup of GP finishes, he's going to need X and 3 to tie, X and 2 to jump ahead. The interesting part about X and 2 is that puts him in the top 8 as well, so it gives him a chance to win even more points. If he gets X and 3, he'll be tied, but that'll also be the end of it for this tournament. Now, this also is not the end of the road. There are GPs in Stockholm and Hong Kong that will also count, as well as GP Detroit, which is a team modern event, has chances to pick up pro points. But if Reid can capitalize on a win here and start off 6-0, it was a really nice start to the day towards trying to pick up those points he needs to at least tie safe.
18.
That's not.
Also must be said that Reid has had a pretty tough road thus far. This is just round number 6. This is only the 3rd round that he's played. And in round number 1, he played Chris Stitson. And Stitson took him to extra turns and played very well. Gave him about all he could handle. Then he played Yuya Watanabe and now Tamaharu Saito. So it's not been an easy road thus far for Reid.
Sorry to rush you, Saito, but you've been playing a little bit slowly.
Okay.
Ooh, wasteland for Saito. That is not what Reid wanted to see here. He's going to brainstorm in response, but Saito looks like he may have a spell pierce here.
Blue.
He's got daze. He's got a blue mana floating.
So, here we go.
17.
That was a great sequence for Saito, leaving Duke with just one land left. And look at this. Hooting Mandrills is the follow-up. What a turn for Saito. This is exactly where he wants to be. Snaring Bridge in hand for Reid Duke. Looked pretty good a turn ago. Now it looks bad.
It's fine. I appreciate it.
And once again, Duke is forced to start digging, trying to hit lands with this brainstorm. He had one in his hand, so he's not made his land drop this turn, but he'd like to try to set him up going forward as well. You did hear Reid politely urge Saito to play a little bit faster. Remember, the rule is that both players must play at a pace commensurate with finishing the match in the time. And Reid just noticed that the pattern was that Saito was taking a little bit long. And they're already down to 23 minutes with a potential game 3 looming on the horizon. He wanted to make sure that Saito was aware. Saito, as a professional player, understood. Said, okay. And also did a little Saito slap for us there.
There we go.
No box.
You'll see him slap his
12.
face a little bit like that to try to get focused. Does that before his matches. I've seen him do it for years. Okay, so Duke's going to go for Ensnaring Bridge right now.
How many cards? 3.
Three cards in hand for Duke means that Ensnaring Bridge, if it's resolving here, will keep the Hooting Mandrills at bay. It will not keep the Bomat Courier, but Reid's at 12.
Shot.
Okay, go. We need to play a little bit faster, please.
So further along that development from a turn ago, the judge is actually now making sure that Saito keeps up his pace of play.
Draw. There we go.
11.
That's not.
So Reid's interested in emptying out his hand, and look at this. Liliana, the last hope. If this resolves, it's going to put Saito in a very bad position.
Activate.
Okay.
And he's going to crack this Bomat Courier because it's going to die anyway. And it resolves. This is huge for Duke.
Plus on nothing. And go.
Interesting play there from Duke. When you +1 Liliana, you can target a creature or you cannot. It's up to 1. If he had targeted the creature with 2 cards in hand, he actually would be taking damage and allowing the Hooting Mandrills to attack. So heads up play there from Reid. Reid's entire game plan revolving around Liliana the Last Hope and Ensnaring Bridge right now, the 2 permanents he has on board besides his lands. That Ensnaring Bridge right now is holding back Hooting Mandrills indefinitely. And Liliana gives him a way to win the game through ultimate or through card advantage by getting back cards like Snapcaster Mage and such.
Okay.
Two cards in hand for me.
This.
$18. It's okay.
It's locked already.
Okay.
Oh wow! And Saito
1-1,
says it's locked.
1 die, 3-2 can attack. And no have enchant grass, no have lightning bolts. Very nice. Rich. new tech or it's
I played
Same as?
1 at the Pro Tour.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Best card against Eldrazi, and then sometimes
Yeah.
in a matchup like this, it's useful.
Useful, he says.
Oh, I had only one answer about impossible because Liliana. Yeah. Perfect.
You heard it from him. Saito said, you had me locked. I didn't have any answers, and I took out my lightning bolts. I had no way to kill you from this point. And the fact that he had Liliana on the table meant that the small creatures didn't have a chance to get through either. So Reid Duke, with that excellent sideboarding there of Ensnaring Bridge, and then in addition to Liliana, made it impossible for Saito to win from that point. And he gave him props. He said, hey, nice technology. You got me, even though Reid honestly said, well, this is more for Eldrazi, but it's pretty good in other matchups too. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have Reid Duke himself back in the booth. We'll break down that match, and then we'll get to some time walk. We'll see you in just a little bit.